Welcome back to the OCE Championship Finals with myself, Asterix, Career Lord, and Yummy Cheese Man. It is good to be back on the heart of such a huge victory for the Chiefs.
Yeah, they're going to be very happy with that, moving forward towards that RLCS dream one step at a time. But now we have new challenges.
These two teams, Darksided and Legacy Esports, the winner of this has to verse the Chiefs in the upper bracket.
It is a big opportunity, but before we go there, if you have just joined us with that bracket now, the Chiefs are into the quarterfinals, or the semis, I guess, as it were.
Upper bracket finals.
Upper bracket finals. Let's keep it simple for you. They're one step away from RLCS.
But this match we're about to see, Legacy versus Darksided, is one we've just seen recently, with Darksided stealing the win.
And today, if you get 2 wins, you go to RLCS. If you get 2 losses, you go home.
That's pretty rough.
But you're not going home empty-handed. The challenge is there. The loser of this next series will verse Tainted Minds, which is rough either way. But going up against the Chiefs next as the winner, you've got a long journey ahead of you. Now let me take a step back. Darksided and Legacy, they have fought before, and this matchup was tight, but Darksided took a convincing win.
They took control in their matchup. They got the 3-1 victory, and everyone thought Legacy, there was no way that anyone was going to beat them. The only Chiefs were above them. Darksided have proved throughout the last 3 weeks that they are the number 2 team.
Especially if they play like they did last week. Last week, they nearly beat the Chiefs, and when they went against Legacy, it was pretty much one-sided. Even though it was a 3-1, that one was like a warm-up for them before they just destroyed Legacy.
And speaking of Legacy, when you look at last season where they came 6th in league play, didn't even make the finals, had a 30% win record. Now they're at a 64% win record, and it's all off the back of their new rookie Delusion.
And what a pickup. This guy's stats are absolutely nuts across the board. Second highest shots, second highest goals, second highest assists. Pretty much pick a stat. He's easily top 5.
He's just good. He's great at getting it up to the ball first. He's good at getting those shots. But most importantly, he's like the 3 Chiefs players. He goes into those ones games. He gets those mechanics down pat before getting into 3s.
But not only that, he's enabled Siki and Cyrix, players that we didn't see the limelight on before.
Cyrix as well, he is pushed up really hard, but one of the things that he's seen against the top 4 is he can be hesitant. That's the moment where Siki and Delusion can push further back while Cyrix forward while Cyrix stays back.
Well, I think that's going to be the name of the game today, right? If Legacy are in the mental, have they got that mental fortitude? I think they can just pull away, but it's whether or not they have it today.
I think that's my question around the entirety of Darksided and Legacy. Darksided are the most experienced roster here behind the Chiefs. They've been at every single finals, and they have 3 veteran players compared to the newer players of Legacy.
Yeah, and you got Express sitting back there, being that rock for the team. He can pretty much fill any role. I like to think of him as a bit of a torso.
He's played more games than anyone else in the OCE Championship. He's got that experience. Shady has got that firepower, and you add in the new player Dumbo, who's so hard-working that he's really fit into their roster, and that's why you saw at the end of the season, Darksided got so much better.
And let's not forget that Dumbo and Shady have come so close to RLCS before. Express is the only one who's actually gone international.
Dumbo lost in the first season of our RLCS run in 2 Game 7s, one of them overtime against the Chiefs.
And that's the only time Chiefs have ever gone to Game 7 was against Dumbo, so he's definitely a man to watch.
Dumbo has been crazy. The hard-working mentality of Darksided is not to be underestimated, but the discipline and the strong-headedness of Legacy is what's going to be feared.
It's going to be a powerful team. When you have that strong etiquette they have, and they're going to be so consistent, I'm really worried for Legacy.
Well, in this series, this is where it comes down to top 4. Yummy Cheese Man, I'll start with you. What is your prediction for the next series?
Last time we saw them play, we thought that Legacy had it. They were the second best team, but Darksided have proved the last 2 weeks that they have improved enough that they can take down Legacy again.
See, for me, I'm going to go Darksided. Sorry, not Darksided, Legacy. Legacy is the team I'm going for. Threw me off there, Yummy. You're so convincing. I think that it's a case of the dark side we saw last week was so dominant that they almost beat the Chiefs, but I think they were playing at absolute peak, and I think there is going to be a little bit of jitters on them today, and I think Legacy may take the edge there.
So we got the table split, Darksided Legacy here. I would join on to Legacy for one reason and one reason only. I think Delusion is a better player than Dumbo. Now, don't take this away from me. Delusion itself has performed that well that I think this rookie coming into the OCE Championship is no longer that.
I think if you're looking at just the stats alone, Delusion's one of the best players in the entire region. So that's a fair statement to make.
Solved. I'm glad Korea sets me
He's
up.
made a huge difference for Legacy Esports, but that is actually the reason that I think that might be a problem. They rely on Delusion.
And that's hard, right? He's a new player. This is his first ever championships, and that is a lot of pressure to be put on you.
Let's see if Legacy can hold under the pressure. The mental fortitude gonna be seen, as well as their reliance on Delusion. Can they go further? Dark-sided Legacy Esports, game 1 of our top 4 finals. Our second series begins now. The first shot from Sirix. Going to come light in front of net.
And the shots are going to be coming out. Legacy love taking tons and tons of shots. Siki in particular pulling out an average of 6 per game. So you've got to be careful when they get on the offense.
Delusion comes in off the side. The pass back from Siki, and it's the confidence to make those passes back. Sirix will take the ball away from Darksider. Remember, it was a 3-1 in league play when Darksider took down Legacy, but now it's a best of 7. You have longer games. Who can hold out under that stress?
And the mental fortitude that has to come with that too. There's so many opportunities to make mistakes, and now you have to keep yourself in a good headspace when they happen.
Well, Express will come off the wall. Good setup for Darksided, and to score this first goal will get the momentum of the series going. Delusion up for the ball, and there's the net. It's open, plain and simple, until Shady comes back. Siki with the pass there, and Sirix will kind of intercept. Siki will hang back for Darksided, trying to breach through Legacy.
And trying to breach through the midfield is where it's going to be happening. Most of the season, Darkside relied on their pressure play, locking you out of their side of the pitch. So the fact you get to see that grass is a thing of its own.
Delusion comes in high and mighty. A good save from Express. They'll come back in off the corner. Legacy Esports be the defensive themselves. Express comes through. Shady on the other wing. They want to look for a long field pass, and as it bounces all the way back, instead they'll give it to Shady. Legacy Esports breaching Darkside.
And now that we have Legacy stuck on the back foot, the goal is open. The follow-up has not yet come. So many opportunities there for Darksided. Now it's, can they stay in the game?
Oh, the pressure must be sitting on the back of both of these teams. 2 misses from both Legacy and Darksided, respectively. And they came so close. 3 minutes left remaining in game 1. The jitters are there. We can plainly see it. Now for Shady, the shot. A little bit wide. And Legacy Esports have been on the defensive for quite a while, and Darksided are going to have to do more than that to find another opportunity.
And it's how quickly they can now move forward and clean up that gameplay. Could just be the decider in who wins this match.
A brand new team going to RLCS. It begins here. Our champion, who's it going to be? Sirix takes opportunity with that banger.
He is so hungry to go. This could be his best ever performance for that RLCS run. He's never made top 3 in a championships series.
What a fantastic pass back, though. And that is the synergy from Legacy, the discipline in knowing when to make the play. First goal by Legacy, 2 minutes 30.
And now they have to just hold it out, because Darksided can get turned on and try push those players and use the demos they're so well known for.
Well, Delusion passes it through, and that's going to be Dumbo for the save from the corner. Shady, the pass up. The hard-working squad needs to work even harder. In front of that goal square, Express meets to the right. Sirix now for the dribble, but Shady's taken it away. Shady wants to lock it down. Good defense from Legacy Esports. Siki and Sirix proving their might. The pass over to Sirix, it's good intercept and a good challenge from Legacy Esports. Darksider continue to hold out. This one's close as well.
So even if they don't get the shots from Legacy side into Darksided, they can keep buying time by keeping Darksided locked out of their side of the pitch.
Well, all 3 members come around this left-hand wing. Sirix goes over the top. This one will bounce in the goal square. Siki comes in for the rebound off the ramp, but it only goes to serve Darksided at 1 minute 40. It comes back in. There's a shot. It's high again. And Darksided are just coming so close, Korea. It feels as Sirix finds almost another. It'll be popped up by Siki. And in game 1, Darksided, ample opportunities being defended by Legacy.
The mental strength they need to bring back together, that hard work and that muscle memory need to kick in if they want to pull this back, because they've got enough time. They just need the touch.
Shady block. That was the big pace shot that we were going to see. Dumbo off the corner, but instead Delusion sweeps past it. Darksided can't do anything with the ball. Dumbo comes back in. Shady with a light touch. Dumbo for the shot, but Delusion saves the day again.
Getting stuck in this right-hand side where they're unable to get a clear shot at the goal has inhibited both teams from being able to make up for the fact they're struggling with the accuracy.
They really are, Korea. In front of net again. Darksided find themselves in a comfortable position, but they just can't lock it down. The intercept again from Shady as they come through and sweep into the play. This is off the back wall, but Express won't commit. Legacy pushing it upfield. Siki now for the rundown, and Shady will lightly save it, but Express hasn't touched the ball. Sirix is coming in off the wall. Legacy Esports with 30 seconds remaining. Can they hold out?
But I think that touch there could have been critical in deciding it. Breaking the potential runaway they have and turning it right back around has burnt so much of the time left on the clock.
Darksided trying to save each other in these plays. 15 seconds remaining, and you see the passes are getting intercepted by Darksided, but again, they can't finish it. A good bump onto Dumbo will mean the bouncer is trying to reach through Shady. Legacy come back in. 5 seconds remaining. They just need to let this ball stay down this side of the field, hit the ground, and end the play. Legacy Esports clear it, and that one will bounce if Shady can't get through. For Darksided now, being on the defensive, this is going to make it very difficult.
Yeah, Sirix picking up that boost and getting that demo is going to make it incredibly hard for them to keep that ball up when they're all running on empty without many opportunities.
But hang on, Korea. Shady's found the breakaway. The pop-up is there. And Darksided, another chance. Foiled again by Legacy. Sticky and Sirix have full ball control. That one will finally hit. And Legacy, they take game one.
They've now got the first one in their pocket. But this is what happened last time they went head-to-head. Legacy walked in, steamed their way through the first game, and then Darksided slowly clawed its way back into a 3-1.
With our top 4 teams, their ability to adapt is always what we're going on about, always what we're talking up about them. Legacy Esports have come into the series with a powerful punch, but the defense from Darksided cannot be ignored.
No, it's the offense of Darkseid that needs to be cleaned up a bit because they had lots of opportunities in the first half of that game, and they just didn't manage to hit. And Shady had that chance again for that solo. If they can just fix that up, that could just turn the entire thing on its head.
It was bouncing in front of net. There was so much time for Darkseid, and we actually do have another tweet coming in. I mean, Christina wants Sirix to go to LAN. A lot of people want Legacy to go to LAN. I'd stand by the statement as well. That is a Legacy that have started out strong.
Nice. I think this is going to be a case where if Sirix just wins this match, this will be the best ever championships performance he's ever done. He's never got top 3, and then he has the chance for top 2. So you can follow Sirix's journey of making his own personal best performances.
Staying safe, Legacy Esports need to continue this journey. For Darksided, it was a 3-1 victory. They started out 1-0 down.
Yeah. And just...
And then turned it on its head. Korea?
Yeah.
Into this game 2, we're now going to find out if Legacy have done the adaptation, have shown the growth. Game 2 is not about stepping up anymore. It's about finalizing your growth as a team in the OCE Championship Finals. Game 2 is upon us.
And I think the headspace is the important thing. We talked about it on the desk, but whether or not Delusion and Sirix can keep it straight and use that first victory to give themselves the confidence to move forward.
Siki comes in, Sirix there with a good pass forward, and now for the intercept, but it's not going to happen. Siki comes in off the wall, it's a pass back instead, popped up over the side. Shady will be the last defender, excuse me, looks like the boys getting too ramped up. Sirix in front of net. It'll be a bouncer once more as Darkseid get the clip.
And we're seeing Legacy up ready in the middle of the pitch to block that, not allowing Darkseid to get into the midfield where they do their token pressure plays, and the shots are coming out from Siki as he starts his barrage.
With the defense from Dumbo, who doesn't keep the play out of fruition. Sirix with the high one. Trying to get in those upper bins. Sirix all the way back now for Legacy Esports. There's a couple of good shots. We'll start off their game 2. Pass over to Sirix. Look at this, long passes that are coming from Legacy. Darksided struggling a little bit as Shady gets in and gets a huge clear. We'll be opening Darksided up, but the Legacy defense, 2 members commit forward and they make sure it's staying away.
And the important thing about getting that big clear you mentioned is all 3 players were empty on boost, so it allowed them to all recharge, and then they can start another offense, or they have the boost to get up for that backboard for the defense.
Sirix now comes in off the side, opportunity for Express. He doesn't commit. Off the wall, Express has just run out of boost. Dumbo hanging midfield, going to be the pass down. Good pass over to Shady. The shot is wide again. Darksided coming so close.
For a man that was once known as the sniper, he is very much struggling with the pressure, but it doesn't matter because Dumbo has his back.
Finally getting Darkseid on the board after so much pressure, after so many shots. Dumbo makes sure he doesn't miss.
And that's one of the key reasons you pick him up. He's one of the top 5 goal scorers, and he has second most solo goals in the entire league.
And now for Darkseid, it's starting off strong, but off the kickoff, Legacy known to do this. The demolition into Sirix, it turns on its head. It flips up in front of net. Shady there to receive. Delusion now going to use the pace of this ball as Express hands it off to the side.
And they're managing to try get some bumps there as well to open up the offense. Even though it didn't turn into a play, the attempt is important because it shows what they've been thinking about.
Off the corner is now Dumbo, and Delusion's here as well. Express will lose the ball to Sirix, and Legacy have the breakaway. Dumbo's getting back into defense. Sirix doesn't win it, but Delusion does. Dumbo nearly getting bumped, but look at the Legacy defense. It's not there. Can Darksided get through? They'll pass Sirix. Dumbo there again. Another shot. Darksided, they've got to again get past Legacy's defense. See if they overcommit.
Just when Sirix comes in to try and make those demos or bumps, it delays the player that's in third position of Darksided so much that it inhibits the rotation forward as they come to create a pressure play and really hurts their offense.
Dumbo swings it to the wing. Express comes back in. Wants to make that ball sing. Darksided now have to push up or push back down. A huge monster shot from Delusion.
He is a monster. The fact you can just take this rookie who is nothing but raw talent and he will destroy goals against Darksided, he is a player to take.
What a gentle pass from Sirix, though. It's always Sirix or Siki. You know, you can't incorporate one without incorporating another in the Legacy lineup. Equalizing 1-1 in game number 2. Legacy, they don't want to get shut out like League play. Sirix will save the ball away, but Express brings it back in, and Darksided, they're running out of time if they want to take game 2 for themselves.
But this is similar to the last time they played. It went to an overtime after 1 apiece where Darksided pulled ahead, so they're slow to start up, but once they do, they start cutting down the trees.
Express commits for the ball. Delusion is slow to get down, but it doesn't matter as Express will leave the ball to go over the top. Shady for the solo play. Turns into a pass for Siki. Express is coming in hot. Wins that 50-50, but Siki just cements the lead for Legacy. Sirix missing the ball. Quite rare. Delusion now hanging all the way back. Darksided getting these huge clears. They want to set it up. Express onto the backboard for Darksided. Dumbo doesn't commit. Siki goes forward. Delusion and Sirix are all the way back. A minute 20 remaining.
The respect that you're seeing there, Dumbo choosing to rotate back all the way to rear boost rather than go for one in the midfield, shows that there's a bit of fear revolving around the clears coming out of Legacy and a lot of respect.
A good read from Dumbo means Darksided still maintain control, but Delusion is committed for the ball, turns into a pass, Siki's there, 1, 2, and the 3 from Sirix is wide.
Unfortunately, whilst it doesn't get them to goal, they haven't lost the pressure as they continue to push forward, and Darksided are sending players aggressively forward into the other half.
Siki pinch against the corner will mean that it crosses the field and goes over to Darksided where they're congregating. 45 seconds, there's going to be no demolition or bump onto Siki. Now in the midfield, Shady wants to give it over to Darksided, but Sirix coming ever so close. It's 1-1. It's 30 seconds remaining. And now for Delusion, they want to make sure they get the best head start to go to RLCS. Legacy Esports in front of net. Siki's not going to go up. Delusion with the pass to Sirix. Watch out for Siki. He's the 3rd member. He's who you need to watch. He passes it to Delusion. Siki goes up. Legacy getting creative from the corner. Delusion and Siki, they lose out on the ball. The runaway from Darksided. There's 10 seconds left.
Now it just requires them to get this ball out ASAP so they have another opportunity at the overtime, but Darksided, they want this final touch.
There's 5 seconds left to go, and it looks like overtime will be here unless Darksided can get this pass around. Legacy let it hit the ground, and overtime for Game 2.
We were seeing a repeat of history here. Legacy taking Game 1, Game 2 to the overtime, but can Darksided flip it back around, or will it stay the same?
Well, Shady setting up with Express, the double touchdown denied by Delusion, who's having a stellar performance in the series so far. Legacy come back in from the corner now. You have to be careful. Express a good read, but Sirix, Delusion, they've all intercepted the ball. Sirix brings it to a standstill. It's past Delusion. The runaway from Darksided. It's now going to be centered. Express has already backed off with a good secondary touch from Delusion. 30 seconds in overtime. Legacy, hold on.
And that was Darksided's opportunity to push forward. Sirix was completely out of rotation, and it was a 2v3 that they just couldn't capitalize on.
Oh no, this is the breach courier. Express sets up Darksided for Game 2.
They pick it up this time, though. They notice that Legacy has pushed way too far forward, and the monster clear denies the game again.
Darksided, Game 2. They take it. It's a 1-1. And we'll see if history repeats itself. They walk a step closer to Legacy.
Slowly but surely, Darksided are gaining that confidence back, and the games are getting tighter and slowly rolling into their favor.
So for Darksided, there was this opening moment. Legacy commit too far forward, and they take full advantage of it. For Legacy, it is about Delusion in this game, though. So Siki and Sirix, where do they fit in?
Well, Sirix's big role within the team is he's the guy that helps set up the play. You can think of him a bit of a Jake from Chiefs, where he has a ton of demos. He loves to come forward and bumps.
Yep.
He's not afraid to be reactive and finish the play, but he's not typically the one you'd expect to start it.
Definitely not. And I think for Legacy Esports, you'd expect that the audience would be behind them, but in this series so far, it's pretty neck and neck. It's 51-49. I would be on the fence as well. Darksided have shown in the past they can take down Legacy, but Legacy always have this element of surprise. Discipline on one hand, creativity on the other.
Well, I think it's going to be another case of just to go a little bit nutty with it, right? We're going to see Darksided. They haven't even got into their opportunity to do these pressure plays that they're famous for. Normally, they try to sit in the midfield and just lock you out. The games are close before they've got to that point. And you'll know when it's tipped because the number of shots Legacy takes just turns to 0.
It does. It does. And Legacy just like... You're like, oh, why couldn't they get out? Why couldn't they get away from Darksided? And it's just like Darksided are also good at shutting.
Yeah, and you can see the pressure they felt. And then at the end of the game, Legacy started feeling, oh god, the pressure play is coming. They massively overcommit, and Darkside's like, yes, you're where we want you now. And they can just get a clear for a goal.
Well, Game 3, Darksided brought it to equal standings, and now, in the first match of the top 4 finals, Darksided bring the pressure right back in. This is a big clear. Express is the only one back as a defender. Game 3 is going to give someone the lead, but who is it going to be? Delusion off that backboard. Sirix now hangs all the way. Shady will get the clear off. 20 seconds to pass. Darksided in the midfield. They're going to try to get the ball through. Dumbo, the one to receive from this corner now. Trying to get the pass infield. Shady will still get it, but it's recovered well for Darksided. They want to be in front of that net. Legacy Esports now from the wing. Shady will come through. Responded by Dumbo first. A good pass upfield. Darksided may have found something here as Shady comes in. He pops it once. He gets bumped the second time. Legacy regain control.
And they're a little bit worried, though. You can see the way they're sitting within the goals. One was on rear post, one was on close post. Neither of them ready for the clear. And that fear in their eyes that you can just feel across the pitch is shown in the gameplay.
You saw there Darksided playing it very, very close. And Sirix not able to get the shot through and penetrate that defense once more. Delusion up for the ball. He'll get pace on the ball, but it's wide to the left. Sirix again coming through. Now for a second touch. I'm not sure if he meant it to be that way, but Legacy are starting to really play off that backboard. Oh no. Again, playing off the backboard. Sicky there for the shot. Delusion as well. Darksided tried to play defensively, and this is the result.
Yeah, that pass back to the backboard was very dangerous. The follow-up almost coming through from Legacy, and if they were more aggressive in that rotation, they could have potentially scored.
Well, Legacy commit 2 members forward. Delusion the only one back. They play through Express, and that is a beautiful top down.
The perfect shot coming through. Express being their rock, and Shady recognizing there's an opportunity for a pass rather than taking the shot when he's been struggling with it a little bit was a good choice.
The synergy in such a high-pressure situation from Darksided has proven useful here in Game 3. Darksided take the lead nice and early, and Legacy Esports could be finding this all a little bit too much. Let's find out. Sicky comes in with Delusion. 2 members up for Legacy. They'll have to recover back, and with 3 minutes left remaining, good intercept from Sirix. He'll give the ball back over to Delusion. 1 defender from Darksided. They almost get it to Sirix. It's over to Sicky now off that back wall. It bounces. 3 minutes left remaining.
Yeah, you could see Sicky trying to decide whether or not to go for the full run up, but he was a little bit slow in the engage and cost them that opportunity for the follow-up or potentially even a pressure play, and now they have to work on breaking back out of their half.
Delusion in the center field is going to go for the solo play. Doesn't get it past. Darksided again, it rebounds off the wall, and now the standstill. Sirix to finish.
The walk-in has been done, equalizing it as well, and now they need to hold this opportunity if they want a chance, but Darksided are going to be inflamed.
Remember, the return for Darksided is Express, the world stage. You got Shady and Dumbo, who have touched it, who have tasted the opportunity, but never received. For Legacy, all fresh. Sicky and Sirix, they've been close. But I tell you what, Delusion, fresh out of the barrel. Now comes in off the wall for Legacy. The passing is there again. 2 members up. The third is back. It's Sirix. Passes up to Sicky again. Centers the ball. Legacy trying to get their possession back in order as Delusion comes in for a light touch. Darksided getting pushed back. Sicky now waiting. Darksided, a big mistake as there's the shot from Sicky, but again it comes close. 2 minutes left remaining, Courier.
And Siki, although he didn't land it exactly in, and the defense came out, he managed to pull out 2 of the goalies. And that will now enable them to get a shot next time, potentially even score.
On the defense now for Darksider, they're just trying to get through. A light touch from Express over to Dumbo, but he misses the ball. Means Delusion can dribble with it, play with it, and unfortunately no success just yet. Delusion now hanging back along with the rest of Legacy Esports, getting the counter clear, but Darksider are coming in for the challenges. Those 50-50s winning means that Darksider can continue to push up.
And harder they go as they break back into the half, and Legacy starting to move further and further into their own net on defense.
Oh, career, but this is a good pass through. 3 members from Legacy are up for the ball. Darksider only managing to claw their way back, but a little bit slow to the ball means the counter clear has been set up. Express comes in off the corner. Darksider have their moment to shine as the pass comes back down, and Legacy Esports just respond with a clear. A quick moment for Legacy as they now try to get through. Delusion comes close. He'll have to rotate back around. 2 members from Legacy getting back.
The battle of the clears continues, and it'll be the first team that gets a meaningful intercept, denies it immediately and pushes it straight back down, that could pull away the first goal.
Bump onto Delusion doesn't mean much right now for Darksider, but Express brings it around the corner again for the second touch. The third is there. Delusion with a good read. Shady's back. Express now joining the likes of Dumbo. Off the wall, Delusion will get that counter clear again. Siki comes in, redirects it into the goal. The setup, so damn close. Legacy will pass it back, but this means Express has a moment, pops it up, and again hits the crossbar. Darksided want to come back in. The pass back, does it work out in the end? You'd have to say almost for Legacy as they have a shot of their own.
Drawing them all the way back out and then nearly scoring upon them, but they haven't lost the pressure yet as they continue to punch into Darksided's side. We need to see a huge clear if they want that breathing room.
The wide angle as Siki tries to respond. Sirix managing to touch it. That could have been the difference. Now slow to the ball are Legacy. Another overtime, another day. Siki brings it around. It'll land for game 3.
Darksided opting to let the ball drop and take the better opportunity with the restart of the game.
We've seen these overtimes. We've seen what they result in. For Darksided, the confidence is there. And Shady brings it back. The pass, ingenious, but now Darksided have something to work with. Delusion passing the ball up to Sirix. He doesn't commit. Shady will clear it back. Delusion intercepts mid-air. It's going to be a good pass to Sirix, but he doesn't go forward. You can see that a little bit cautious. Treading on hot coals right now for Legacy. They come up to the net. 30 seconds. Going to read for the ball. Siki brings it back down. That'll hit the backboard. Shady manages to get more pace on the ball. They pass it upfield. Sirix and Delusion comes back in. You can see this young superstar really proving himself in this game. Siki gets it over Korea. Now for the backboard. It's in front of net, but a good block by Dumbo.
What a speedy turnaround as well. We saw all 3 players of Darkside had moved into the attack, and the fact he managed to get their background, he is so incredibly fast.
Siki, Express reads well, coming off the wall. Delusion now goes up for it, and you can say that Legacy are reading just as well in this game. A minute into overtime, Delusion pops it over the top. Shady clears it away, and Shady last week was not having great moments, but you can see that he's on point today when it counts for Legacy. Delusion goes for the pass instead. A moment for Legacy that's lost.
Yeah, all this defense is coming out of Shady as well. This league so far, he's got 8 Savior medals.
Such a high score, one that needs to be cemented more. The bump away by Delusion. Siki doesn't come in for the ball. Sirix is hanging in the midfield, but Dumbo still wins it. The solo play from this attacker of Darksiders. They bring it around the corner. Shady now to Express. The center's there, but Dumbo doesn't commit forward, and it comes ever so close. The pinch out of the corner is heading in. Shady only pops it up. It works out well for Legacy, but as the clear comes through, we move into 2 minutes of overtime in game number 3.
The clears are the name of this game. You can see how far back Darksided keep their 3rd man just in case the monsters come. And when they're hitting your backboard, you're making the right decision.
Darksided now committing forward. Dumbo comes in off the roof, and for Darksided, they hang around this wing with the rest of likes of Delusion. Siki off the backboard. There'll be a center there for Shady. He hits it up instead, and it's coming around the net, but it's not going in. Dumbo's missed the ball. Express on the wrong foot. Delusion with a good read, but who's there to follow up? Legacy Esports now back on the defense as soon as it's begun, as soon as it could end. A good block again keeps Legacy in the game.
They've all got full boost though, so this is their opportunity to break out and push forward, but first they have to break out.
It'll be the deciding game. Who moves forward in the series from the corner? Express hands it back. Dumbo's here amidst the chaos. Darkside can't get anything done just yet. The shot angle down. Shady, you peppering monster.
What a shot off the roof as well. This is why he is one of the aerial kings. 71% of his goals come from these crazy angles.
How do you do that? Darkside finished game 3 in style. That was, without a doubt, Shady's best shot so far in the OCE Championship.
That's how you pull back a game. When it is that incredibly tight and you can pull angles from that high up, that is insane. And that is what's going to push Darksided forward.
Darksided find the lead. They're now a game ahead of Legacy, and in good fashion, good style, and all-round good grace. Legacy have fallen behind, and this is what happens in league play. Happened.
Yeah.
Now for Darksided, they need to continue forward.
Yeah, Darksided just need to keep pushing this one. And as they get more confident and slowly start to choke out Legacy, we're just going to see it tighten up more and more. And the shooting has been getting better over the series. We saw first game, Darksided really struggled, but now it's getting a little bit cleaner, and it's going to keep getting cleaner.
And you saw on your screen there, you can actually tweet at us, #TDRL, but we just had a tweet coming in from Jas Lottie, who said, Nutella eating ASMR and all-round good banter in the Darksided viewing party channel. Right now, man, get out more Nutella. That was a very good finisher for Darksided. They move into game 4, heads held high. Shady's not missing any shots this week.
Oh no, he's going to be a happy man moving forward, I think. It's going to be a big test, though. Can he hold up that consistency that he had this game through the rest?
Okay, I just said that, but I'll take a step back to game 1 where there was a lot of
slide over that
Yeah,
one.
Look, there were a lot of shots. There were a lot of missed opportunities. And sitting in front of net, there were some whiffs that could not happen in the OC Champ final. Now it looks like they've tightened up that play, and that's the difference between Legacy and Darksided. A lot of experience, a lot of hardworking men on Darksided, and Legacy are going to have to deal with that in game 4.
And whether or not they can is going to be the big test for them. We've seen some great plays out of them, but Darksided, they haven't used their greatest weapon. And we have a good indicator that's coming out. It's the use of demos.
Xerix hits the roof, and yeah, we just haven't seen enough of them yet, Korea. It's Darksided, they find their way through. Siki hands it up the field. Darksided heading back themselves. The defense is there. The demolition comes through onto Delusion, but it'll be centered for Darksided. Xerix goes up for the ball. Legacy Esports, they're just trying to get through Darksided at this point in time. Read those clears. Read the long passing plays. Delusion feels like he's everywhere on the map. Siki will bring it back around. The demolition onto Express means Xerix can get up for this. It's through the center field. Delusion goes under the ball, and now to be up to Siki.
The defense, though, from Legacy is going to be strong in the midfield, and it will deny anything coming out from Darksided's side. But the bit that gets interesting now is Darksided love demos. They do the most demos out of any team, and it's how they help their pressure play lead to scores against teams that have strong defense.
Over the top, Darksided just trying to reach over Legacy. A demolition. It turns into a bouncer. Finisher's not there, but Express will take it.
And that's what they do when you're too hard to crack. They blow you up, take you out, and put the goals away.
It was a little bit harsh for Legacy. That demolition opened things up, and Darksided, you know, they play that harsh style. 1 minute's passed, Darksided take the lead again. You could be looking at a Darksided versus Chiefs if this continues on. Do we live in a world? Shady! He's not missing today, Korea. He's definitely not missing.
Yet that first game was just a warm-up for Shady as these crazy aerial angles continue to come out. That is like 10 degrees.
That was slick, smooth, Shady, making a highlight reel for himself in the OCE Champ Finals. 2-0 start for Darksided, and trying to get through this line of defense, this Legacy set up in front of their goal square. It's sometimes very difficult. Darksided feel like they're not having troubles, but the passing play now immediately is they turn that into offense. Bringing it forward is Shady. It'll bounce in front of that goal square, but should be an easy clear. Express says no, brings it back in. Off the wall, will center it up, and there's going to be no one in defense. If Darksided can get back in time, the pinch into the corner, swings past the net.
That would have been a worrying moment there for Darkseid, but they managed to get the ball out and push forward as they slowly continue their advance.
The pass down, Xerix, it goes over the top of him, but now for the opportunity for Legacy. They have to make sure they can get these passing players off. They play a lot quicker when they're ahead, but behind now you can see that Delusion trying to make something work off that back wall. Siki comes in hot. Dumbo. It was his time to shine. He easily clears it away, and Legacy Esports are struggling once again.
Well, it's really hard. Legacy use a lot less boost than Darkseid do, so when it comes to be able to rotate around the pitch and be fast to control that midfield, they just don't have the resources to do it.
Off the backboard again, Dumbo will come in and try and pass it back. The hard worker himself will set it up for the backboard. Dumbo, keep your eyes on him for a bit because he'll be walking forward. Now for Express, the sliding pass. Dumbo brings it back. Express with the touch off the wall should set things up. Dumbo centers it, but Sicky's still there. Legacy struggling in this defense. Darksided trying to break through with the pass back from Express. Light touch from Shady was getting close.
The scary thing when Darkside starts to rotate like sharks around you, circling you deep, is that every single one of them is an MVP for their team. It's an equal distribution across goal scoring potential. So who do you stop? There's no man you can mark, block, anything.
Shady actually blocked that one away from Delusion, and a close call for Legacy Esports, but they're running out of time again, Courier, and Darkside now on the defense. What can Legacy achieve? Zerix pops it in front of net. Delusion steals it away, but Darkside have managed to keep it away from that net.
And now they're going to have to scramble back. We've seen last game Darksided have these monster EU clears that go deep into the Legacy half, so if you have that triple commit to try break through the goals, you can just get easily scored upon.
Express with a strange recovery still manages to pinch it away. Delusion sliding across. Oh, for Legacy, they're just coming so close. It looks like game one, what Darksided were kind of providing us with. From the corner, Delusion now going to have to make a big play as one member commits. Dumbo now off the side. He wasn't moving for a second, but Darksided, they managed to get it away again. As I say that, right in front of net, Sirix back off the wall. Delusion coming in. They get it past him. Sicky, the last defender, now has to read the ball, and he gets it in himself. Darksided with game 4.
What a debate coming out of them as well. Sitting there waiting for Legacy to come forward. Neither of their players going for the touch. Soon as they draw them out, the solo plays come out, and the goals for Darksided.
It's Express and Shady who are just making short work. Darksided getting set up by Dumbo. It's all coming together. Delusion wants the kickoff goal. An opportunity for Legacy. He brings it slowly forward. But Sicky, Delusion, now Sirix. It looks like it might not be enough until Sicky strikes.
50 seconds left on the clock. They are down but not out. And if they can keep getting these quick goals, they might still be in the running.
The kickoff goals from Legacy so many times before in league play. We've seen it. So many surprises in league play from them. What can they make with 50 seconds? Let's watch.
It's going to be hard though. Darksided, they love their defense. We've seen them bait Legacy in time and time again. So what they're going to do, they have a lot of options.
Well, the clear comes through. Now for Legacy, time is back for them. The shot there hits the crossbar. Legacy close again. But you know what they say, there's no cigar. You'd be worried after this one. Darksided, they take the advantage once more.
Legacy got a little bit too much wiggle room, but it doesn't matter though. The Darksided strategy, draw them in and punish them over and over, is working to great success.
One game will separate them. 30 seconds, a 3-goal lead. And all hope starting to shatter for Legacy here. They can start bringing themselves back into the series, but Darksided, they feel like they've switched on. This is a new team. This is a new day. Delusion off this wall. Now for Sirix, the shot's there. Delusion to finish it off, and he gets it. There's 20 seconds, and this is a big ask.
We have seen some crazy comebacks, though. We've seen those 3-0 downs last week, and now, you never know.
18 seconds, Courier. A big ask again from Legacy.
It's going to be hard. I wouldn't bet on it.
Well, for Legacy, however, they've shown there, again, signs of life in this series. There'll be 2 games down, and with that demolition, I think Darksided may have just secured it. Sicky comes back around the corner. Legacy feel like they're throttling ahead. The time will tick down, and yes, for Legacy, that is going to be it. But you can see what they're made of. Darksided moving on to match point, though, Courier. And for match point for Darksided, they are 1 step away from versing the Chiefs. They'll be 1 step away from going to RLCS from there.
That is the dream. What a performance, though, coming forward. Legacy dominant all through the league play, but Darksided say no and no again as they just keep shutting them out.
It feels like Darksided are a brand new team from game 1, and it is correct. It is a repeat of league play so far. It's 3-1 for Darksided. If this were not a best of 7, it would be over. Darksided, they're that consistent that they're always pretty much going to have the same result.
And the performance is just getting stronger over the course of the
It
series.
is.
There was a couple of mistakes that actually led to the Legacy's goals, but over the fact of the most of that game, it was pretty clean.
Well, we do have another tweet coming in as well, and of course it is support for Darksided considering how it's going, and it is from Dover, who you all know and love. You can see the transformation that Dumbo has undergone this season. You can't say he doesn't deserve to go to London, and I definitely agree. I think for Dumbo, there has been that progression throughout league play, and now in the finals, you can see that he's honed it to absolute perfection.
Yeah, seeing Dumbo after the last championship series where they went so close to Chiefs was a heartbreaker for me. So for him, I'd be so happy. He's so deserving to make that run.
Everyone's so deserving here. Top 4 finals. We've honed down our teams at that fact. Legacy have climbed their way up. In the off-season, they proved why they're a top OCE team. Now in the OCE Championship, they're a team to be feared by some of the other top 4.
Yeah, they were called We Win When We Can because they just stomped everybody in that offseason, and the only people that could really hold them back was Chiefs.
You've added Delusion. Now you got Siki and Sirix who just make up this roster perfectly. Now let's see if that perfection can stop from Darksided, because it feels like it's perfect versus perfect right now in match point for Darksided.
And if Darksided can pull this through, last time they did this well against Legacy, they almost beat the Chiefs. They took them right to the edge. So they have picked a day to be on form.
Darksided come through strong. That's a missed touch, and Siki will have to recover it. Now using the might of Sirix, it'll be centered around Darksided's defense. Coming in off this corner. Express, slow to the ball. Siki manages to get it from the corner. Shady goes up for the ball. Darksided want to get it out of this half immediately. Sirix tries to lob it through. Siki comes back in, and Delusion is hanging back. I guess he's going to wait for the clear around the midfield. This one's a bouncer in front of that backboard. Sirix to save the day.
Darksided, even though they were pressured, weren't feeling too tense. But Sirix says no anyway and just gets it right over.
Welcome to OCE, baby. That's Sirix, that's Siki, that is Legacy, and that is expectations now. Changing and shifting the balance. 4 minutes 10, the first goal. Nicely scored by Legacy.
Sirix must have heard Dover's tweet. He is hungry, son, and he wants that RLCS. If he can win this match, this will be his best ever performance.
Legacy are never disheartened. They never feel the pressure, so you can see why a play like that could come out at any moment. Delusion handing the ball up to Sirix. It'll be taken away by Express. With that one goal, Legacy holding the lead. Darksided, they're on match point, but could be denied from Legacy. What else can be done? Shady with a good position now for Express. Hits that crossbar, and away it goes. Siki loses it to Dumbo. Sirix back in front of net. The goal square. The shot there from Shady. Sets it on the backboard. Express goes forward, and Dumbo is the last one to hit.
Yeah, Delusion sitting there totally inside his goal, peeking out with fear. But unfortunately, they don't score, and now they get to push forward.
Sirix pops it up onto the other side of the field where Delusion is going. A good center to Siki, and the shot sweeps past 2 defenders.
We're starting to see a flip around. Legacy have gained back their confidence. They've reinvigorated themselves in the break between games, and boy, does it pay dividends.
It really does, Korea. Legacy Esports, 3 minutes 30. They've got one game. Why can't they get another? But for Darksided, they always manage to find their way back. Keep our eyes on the screen and seeing exactly what Darksided can do here, because we've known that their consistency can never be underestimated. Take a look at league play. It's Legacy right back in front of net. 3 minutes left remaining.
It's the Legacy pass plays that we saw leading to those great goals. That may be the thing that saves them. They've got the most passes per game, and all of their players are in the top 5 for most passes all game.
Locking down that accuracy for Legacy. It feels like that has been the problem here. Sirix goes up for the ball. Another pass over to Siki. He'll get demoed, which means Delusion needs to come back up. Siki will be in the defense. From the midfield, the long pass from Darksided. You know that they're getting out of the defense, which means it's okay. Sirix actually with a slow one. Now for Siki on the side. He tries to pass it back over. 2 minutes 30. Delusion reads the clear well.
But now they're stuck in the midfield. Siki doing that quick cut that he's so famous for that enables him to get to the ball much faster than you'd assume and allowing him to run forward for a solo.
Pace coming up a little bit for Legacy Esports. Centers there for Delusion. Reads it well, brings it back into the midfield, and these infield passes from Legacy starting to get read a lot more by Darksided. Siki will go back up. He hits it onto the backboard. It's a light clear from Shady, and it means that Delusion can come back in. Angled it well.
The confidence is back, and they are steamrolling over Darkseid. I don't know what they did in that spare time, but they're reinvigorated, and they're empowered.
They're starting to get creative career. That's what you need to do against Darkside, against any of these top 4 teams. The unexpected becoming even more unexpected. You're like, they're going to go for something creative, but then they do something normal. Double-edged sword.
The old debate.
The old debate. 2 minutes left remaining. Legacy holding that lead. They find another one, but Express is there to save the day. For Darksided, they're running out of time. Express just wants to go back to RLCS, Tom. That's all he wants.
It's a pretty big dream, though. There's a lot of hungry people out there. Everyone wants that dream. It's Derek's. So much on the line.
Siki and Sirix, they want to break the 4th place curse, and this is the series to do it. Make sure that they don't go into that lower bracket where elimination starts becoming crucial to one team. They don't want it, but it is still crucial. Delusion sets it up forward. Siki on the side. Crucial was not the word I was looking for, obviously. From the corner, Delusion now. Bringing it back around. Good bump onto Sirix. Delusion playing with the ball, going for the solo plays. Shady bullying him, but what happens in the net? Another shot landed by Legacy. The pass through to Delusion. He rips up the ball. Darkside, I feel like they've just run out of time. If Legacy get this game career, we're then on to 3-2.
Yeah, and Legacy are playing incredibly smart. They're keeping the ball low to the ground where possible, and they've been avoiding going up on that aerials. Because if you fail an aerial, you get locked out of position. Dumbo, what was that?
I don't know. I could hear a lot of the production just saying, what? On the side. That was Darksided's goal. We'll question that a little bit more. Delusion will cement the game. And Legacy Esports would be asking the same question.
The pressure is getting to them. They're starting to crack. That was very savable for them. Could have been first up for that one. But Dumbo missing the lead up.
So now,
that was a shocker.
Now for Darksided, do we start asking, okay, how's their stamina in best of 7? Best of 5 was clean, 3-1. It's a best of 7 here, Korea. It's a different format. And for Darksided, they've been in this position before, but they have crumbled under the pressure. They've fallen behind.
Legacy lost to them 3-1, but that was a best of 5. If Darksided doesn't have the stamina to run through, there's a very big potential that Legacy comes in and sweeps the next 3 games.
Well, they're going to find this one at least. There's nothing Darksided can do here. Shady will get blocked out. You can see that for Darksided. Even that one goal is getting bumped out. Shady comes back down, and I think he blocked that one as well. Not sure what's going on with Darksided, but hey, for Legacy, this is good news. It means they're back into the series. They're back into the swing. And although it was not a 3-0 start, it was a 1 to a 3. Now it's to a 2. Legacy Esports, they're cooking up something spicy.
It's a very real comeback. Legacy starting to bring out the pass plays that they're oh so famous for, and in the process, controlling the midfield. It's just an excellent showing across the board as all of their players start to warm up and hit those grooves that they're so used to.
So, of course, we've got Delusion on the board there, who every single game feels like he's always at the top. But Sirix and Siki, that game, for me, I felt like there was a lot more communication. There's a lot more synergy for the Legacy roster.
Yeah, I think that was definitely a case. You saw the moments where Siki now cuts really hard and then moves towards the goal, enabling them to get to it really, really fast. And that's one of the weaknesses that Legacy has. Darksided is a much faster roster, so the fact that they can get to the ball enables them to stop the pressure being built out of Darksided's half, but also get the opportunity to start shooting.
I think Darksided will be feeling the pressure here. However, we do have another tweet, and it's from Benji OCE, from Darksided, as we say that. This game is way too close for comfort. I'd agree with that. Overtime in the last 2 games, this series is anyone's. Let's go Darksided. The support's there, but now after that, you've got to start fretting. If you're a Darksided owner, if you are involved with the organization, if you're a fan, your team struggled a little bit in that last game. Let's see how they can recover.
That's a huge loss of momentum because it started out with the Legacy. They took that early lead and then just slowly Darksided started to step over them. But now there's that instant snap and Legacy, they're on fire.
But now they've got 2 match points still for Darksided. They're on 3, they're on 2. They still have ample opportunity. Off the kickoff, they'll lob it into that backboard of the defense of Legacy Esports. Darksided ready to pace forward, and with a light touch from Express, he'll set himself up for the double touch. Dumbo coming back in, and Darksided Shady will be the last member on defense. Hits it into the corner. Legacy Esports, they'll still react to the ball and bring it back to the center.
And they had that quiet confidence sitting there. Siki ready for the return. And all of their players, you could see that offensive V just running deep into Darksided's half.
We're on to game 6. Still match point for Darksided. Like I said, they've got 2 more. This and the next game. For Darksided on the defense, a good touch from Sirix will enable Siki to come back in off the backboard. A close call as Darksided keep getting peppered on their defense.
Locked in and locked away. That demo is going to be critical for this opportunity, and it leads to the goal. Shady.
What a demolition. That came through from, I believe it was either Express who turned back around, but Shady took the shot and Darksided, the communication channels are back up and running.
And that's how they won some of the earlier games. With Legacy being too offensive, all three players running that offensive V, and then getting punished on monster clears.
Off the kickoff, Sirix commits. Siki, the one back. Express wins it over. Delusion from the side, and Darksided looked like they were that one step ahead. A big miss there from Legacy, and Shady doesn't go in. A little bit cautious in front of that net. 4 minutes left remaining. Siki goes up for the ball, but misses it as it goes past. Shady comes around again. Darksided pushing forward. This is their offensive task. They need to get through that line of defense from Legacy Esports. Darkseid's still a goal up, but Sirix gets demoed. Doesn't matter. Delusion, Siki coming up. Express relies on Shady. Delusion has to win this ball over. Although he does, in comes Express. Rotations from Darksided as that one gets centered. Dumbo gets a freebie.
What a great follow-up. Dumbo waiting back to see how it's going to come out. Feels the play, notices the miss, and is there to just capitalize on it.
We spoke about pressure for Legacy. Well, sorry, for Darksided we spoke about it, but hey, Korea, let's talk about Legacy now.
Yeah, fast on, fast off.
2-0, Darksided on that match point. Have they done enough? Delusion comes back in. Darksided have shown how dominant they are against Legacy in league play, and now doing it again in the finals. To go to RLCS to take the championship title. It begins here. A long infield pass to Delusion, which is intercepted by Darksided. They bring themselves back into the center with Siki handing it upfield. Delusion comes back in. It's just brought back down by Darksided. Delusion gets it over the top. This is good from Legacy. One defender left remaining is Express. The rotation from Darksided as they're there in front of net. Sirix can't do anything with the ball.
Yeah, they're ready and roaring. You can see Darksided, well, all three players rotated back in time to stop any offenses coming through. And when they get the opportunity, they start putting out the bumps and demos to break the offense up so they can just hold that 2-0 lead.
Delusion went for the bump. This one's soft around the net, and Shady will dribble it around, gets the bump onto the ramp there. Delusion hands it back down. Dumbo in front of the goal square. Sirix will get up for the ball. Delusion now receives the pass, but it goes past him. An issue for Legacy Esports. 2 minutes 30 remaining. The wide shot is defended by Siki.
You can't have your superstar player starting to miss those aerial shots when you're at match point.
Sirix brings it back into the center, now bouncing forward to Sirix again. Express reads it, but how's the bouncer going to go? It's to Shady, brings it off the roof. For Siki now, has to get up to the ball, hits it off the wall. And for Sirix, he thinks it's a little bit too tall as he comes in over that ball for Delusion opportunity. But Darksided, they get the breach again, and now for the dunk down.
Legacy, all three players pushing forward, none of them having any boost to stop this if it goes poorly. Darksided capitalize again. Clears are destroying Legacy, and Darksided, they have the mental game to pull ahead.
And right now, Korea, I've moved the laptop. I'm thinking Darksided are going to take out this series. 3-0 start. Legacy are running out of time, and by the looks of it, it looks like the pressure has concaved in. Delusion pass into the center field, but Darksided, they play with time, and it's exactly what they need to do.
Legacy have the highest shot percentage in the game, but they're really struggling with this shooting because Darksided shored up that defense for this matchup. They've been using their weak wisely when it comes to that training.
In front of net, Dumbo has a free opportunity, hits that backboard. Delusion needs to get up for the ball, but instead goes for the dribble. Legacy are 3 goals down with hardly any time remaining. Siki goes up for the ball, and Darksided just managed to read the clears every single time. The pass will be wide, and Legacy still on that defense.
It's too little, too late. They need 3 goals in just over a minute, and they're struggling to break out of their half against Darksided, who are unrelenting in their pressure.
Shady comes back in, a minute left remaining, as you've said. It's going to be a difficult task. Now the shot's there, and Delusion, it sweeps past him.
If you thought it was hard, it just got harder. 4 goals in 54 seconds. I think this is the fast track to the lower bracket for Legacy.
But for Darksided, they may have just done what a lot of teams are betting against them. Darksided coming in strong into the finals. They want to secure themselves a spot versing the Chiefs.
And this is a good showing. What we have seen coming out of Darksided today is exactly how it went last time when they versed the Chiefs. They had this huge win against Legacy. They went up against the Chiefs. They took them right to the edge, and then it had to be reverse sweep from Chiefs to save them.
It was just such a difficult task. One that we felt like the pressure was just too much for them. Sirix will take a shot into the corner, but It's just too late for Legacy Esports. They will have to go up against Tainted Minds in the lower bracket with one shot even denied away from Legacy. Darksider look to be in form. They look like a team possessed who want to take the Chiefs on full force.
And now, slowly but surely, another goal comes out as Darkside place their mark on the upper bracket.
But with Darksider, now the task is looking towards the Chiefs, is how do we have this same consistent performance against a team that is double the strength of Legacy?
I think they have a good chance. This is a strong showing we've seen come out of them. Their secret weapon of demos and bumps was only utilized really in 2 of their games. And if they can pull that against Chiefs to try disrupt them and break through those great rotations, they could be doing well.
Well, the ball will hit the ground for Darksider. They move forward onto the Chiefs and are one step closer to RLCS. The Chiefs now stand in their way. What can stop them?
This is all they need. One more big win, and Chiefs the final guardians for it.
For Legacy, they'll have to go up again against Tainted Minds, which are a monster team in their own right. Our top 4 has just gotten so strict with the old matchup of Darksider taking on the Chiefs. Yummy cheese, man. It was a good showing.
Game 1 was a real indicator of how this series would go. You saw Darksider piling on the pressure. They had 2 minutes of straight pressure at one point where they didn't score. There was a lot of early mis-executions, and then we saw Legacy come back off a big counter-attack goal, off a big intercept, and that was kind of the battle. Pressure versus intercepts.
Yeah, and then you had that transition where you saw a ton of clears before Darkside cleaned up their gameplay, and then Shady with some of those angles.
These shots coming out from Darksider, that was the difference. When they started just scoring, it was because they were nailing the exact location of the goal.
And the fact that they could pull the angles as well, I've been looking through the stats and where they're shooting from. They've fixed it. Like, Shady actually has a problem shooting from the right, and you would never say someone has a problem when they shoot that hard.
Not after that. I mean, that was an exceptional goal. Darksider pulled out a lot of goals in that series that you wouldn't think possible, and it's that expectation that's maybe been flipped on its head when you verse a team like Legacy.
When you verse Legacy, you have to do something different. They became predictable in the middle of it, and I saw potential flashbacks to their match against Chiefs where they were completely reverse swept. They got a huge lead, and then they were like, okay, let's sit back. Let's play more defensive. Let's be safer. And that's what they did in that 5th game. But by the time it came to Game 6, they started taking more risks again, and that's how they won.
Yeah, it's their game to win.
Well, dominant performance by Darksider. Now for the contender for Omen by HP. Who do you pick who stands out in that series?
I was incredibly impressed by Shady's performance in this match. He had just so many goals. He had more assists than goals, but that one goal in Game 3, that huge angle to just win the game, was a really crucial goal.
Yeah, it was disgusting.
So Shady stands as a highlight in that series. However, coming up next, we are moving forward into that lower bracket for match number 3. Tainted Minds taking upper bracket, I beg your pardon. So we're going to see our first RLCS qualifying team and who moves to the grand final. Even better, we're going to have a 5-minute break, and when we return, it's going to be Chiefs taking on Darksider.